Welcome back to That Dad Guy, and welcome back to Stamp versus Stamp. This is my monthly collaboration that I do with Snail Mail with Smokey, and every month we do some sort of quirky video about stamp collecting. We try to give each other a challenge, make it a little bit harder than we need to be sometimes, and we also take your suggestions. So if you're leaving us a comment on both of our videos, make sure you leave something positive and try to give us a challenge to do for the future. That way we can consider it going forward. All right, this is no exception. This month we are tackling the alphabet. We are each getting a alternating letter in the alphabet and then giving each other a word that we have to find within the global postal system of all the stamps that are out there. So for example, Smokey's getting the letter A, and I'm going to give him a word starting with the letter A, and he's got to find a stamp that goes along with that. Maybe a story that goes along with it too. If you know Smokey, you know he's got some good stories. So what you want to do is you want to be subscribed to my channel. If you're not already, you want to like it. You want to leave positive comments. You want to share the videos with other people if you might find other people that like them. And put the notification bell on so you don't miss out on anything. Also, you want to go over to Snail Mail with Smokey's channels and do the exact same thing. Because I'm putting a video out, he's putting a video out on the same subject. And we're in each other's videos. So if we're going to start with this alternating alphabet, I get the letter B. So Smokey, what do we got to find?
Rob, I'm really excited to explore philately with you through the alphabet. And your first letter for this challenge is B. And for the letter B, I have chosen the word bacon. Can you find a stamp that shows bacon?
Using the word bacon, I've got to find a stamp, so I did find a stamp. I found a stamp from Newfoundland. This particular stamp came out in 1910. It's got number 92A, and it's about Lord Francis Bacon. So that's where I've gone with. I haven't gone with the food, and Smokey, you might have thought that I did go with the food because of our love for eating, but note Lord Francis Bacon, who is a scientific, was instrumental with the scientific method, which is using observation, inductive reasoning, mixed with skepticism. So this particular stamp is a beautiful one from Newfoundland.
Your next letter is D. And so I've given you the word direction. Is it up, down, right, left, north, south, east, west? It's up to you as long as it has to do with direction.
Using the word direction, I immediately thought of a compass. So I wanted to find a stamp with a compass on it. So I found this stamp from Tanzania. It came out in 1992. It's Scott number 987. It says, "Is this the right course?" Because it's the 500th anniversary of the discovery of America. And we all kind of wonder, are we on the right course? Are we doing the right thing? So I thought that this was kind of a nice looking stamp, and it gives us the proper direction.
Next is the letter F. And for F, I've chosen the word future. Is it a futuristic stamp? Is it a future place, a future time, a future idea? That's up to you. The word is future.
When it comes to the future, I was looking at the future of postal stamps. You know, what new innovations have come out in postage stamps that might be cool to talk about, you know, whether it's, I don't know, Scratch and Sniff, the ones of the French bread that just came out. It's not new, though. Other countries have done it in the past. Maybe something that has embossed or embroidery. You know, it's been done in the past. I even saw one about voice-activated stamps, postal system, but it was really to do with getting rid of stamps and having mailboxes that could tell you exactly how much your letter was going to cost and do it automatically, not have postage stamps. I didn't want to have anything to do with that. So I found this set of 4, which came out in 2000. It's from Gibraltar. It's got numbers 828 through 831, and it's children depicting what the postal system will look like in the future. So they did drawings on these 4 different stamps. Other countries have done the exact same thing too, which is really nice, but these are the 4 that I decided to focus on the future of the postal system. Here in Canada, we're going through negotiations with the union for future contracts, so the future of the postal system is right in the mindset of what we're doing right now in this country.
The letter H, and I have chosen the word helmet. So your challenge is to find a stamp that fits the word helmet.
Helmet is a good word. The very first thing course, you think of with helmet, or at least I do, is a military helmet. There are lots of stamps that had that on it, but I didn't want to go with a military approach to it. So I found this stamp from Canada in 2015. It was a series called The Great Canadian Goalies. This particular stamp is of Martin Brodeur. He was a Hall of Fame goalie for the New Jersey Devils. He was also my wife's favorite goalie. So that is why I picked this particular stamp.
J is for joy. Maybe it's what brings you joy. Maybe it's what brings other people joy. Maybe it's how you view the word joy. It's entirely up to you. J is for joy.
J for joy. Well, joy doesn't come in any more forms really any better than in children. So this stamp from Montenegro in 2015, talking about old toys, reminds me of Christmas morning and the excitement either of my children opening presents, or remembering of when I was younger, going under the tree and opening those presents and seeing the toys that you get to play with on that day and until they break. So yeah, joy is in children playing with old toys.
Next is the letter L, and for L, I've chosen the word lavish. I'm excited to see what you're going to do with this one. I think it's going to be great fun and a great challenge. Lavish is the word for L.
L is in lavish. When I think of lavish, I think of jewels and gold and all things that are extraordinary in value and all sorts of things. So I was looking for a lavish postage stamp. Now, lots of them come up as, you know, most expensive postage stamp. That's not really what I was looking for. I'm not looking for rarity. I wanted to know about lavish. Well, these stamps, and this one in particular, came out in Great Britain in 2011. It depicts Queen Mary's crown. The crown jewels are something that exudes lavishness, whether it's the golds, the diamonds, all the sapphires, all the different jewels that are in them, and the scepters that are there. So crown jewels, Queen Mary's crown of 2011.
Up next is the letter N, and for the letter N, I have chosen the word new. Such a wide variety of options you have for the word new, so I can't wait to see what stamp you choose to represent the word new.
N for new. Well, what I've been trying to do is pick different countries rather than going with the same ones for each one. Now, I did do Newfoundland, and I've done Canada. They are part of the same country now, but at the time Newfoundland wasn't part of Canada, and they had their own stamps. So that's why I picked it. And the reason I picked this one is because it's from New Brunswick. So once again, when it was came out, this particular stamp came out in 1851. It's Scott #1, so it is the oldest of the new stamps from New Brunswick, that is. I looked at New Zealand, I looked at New Caledonia. They didn't have a stamp that was older than this one, and it depicts the crown of Great Britain with the heraldic flowers of the United Kingdom on it. So yeah, I had a little fun with new and old in this particular stamp.
Well, this is stamp versus stamp, so I felt that when it came to the letter P, there was only one fitting topic, and that has to be philately. So, Rob, for the letter P, show us philately on a stamp.
P for philately. Well, philately, stamp collecting. That's what we're all about, isn't it? That's what we're doing here. So I picked this particular stamp. Came from India in 1970. It's Scott number 530. It's Children with a Stamp Album is what it's called. And that's one of the reasons why I do these videos, is to get others excited about collecting stamps. So you can see the excitement on these particular kids' faces as they're collecting stamps. I remember as a young child doing that as well. And yeah, being a new collector doesn't necessarily mean you have to be someone young, but it could be for the first time. But I do encourage young people to look at stamp collecting. And that's one of the reasons why Smokey and I do these videos too, is to show that there is a fun side to stamp collecting.
Well, I got some help from my wife on this next letter, which is the letter R. And so my wife's suggestion for you, Rob, is Roman numerals.
I see, Smokey. So this particular letter, R, was picked by your wife. Roman numerals. Well, those are actually two different words. The Roman part does certainly start with R. So I picked this stamp to go with it. It is from Liberia. It's Scott number 390. It depicts the 1960 Olympic Games from Rome, another R word, and Roman, with weightlifting on it. But you can see on the stamp, the specific number of the Olympics is in Roman numerals. So that's why I went with this stamp.
For the letter T, I'm giving you the word text. Is it a line of text? Is it a page of text? A sheet of text? A text message? That's completely up to you, as long as you find a stamp that has to do with the word text.
T for text. Well, there are a lot of different texts used on stamps, but this is the one that kind of makes you think the most. It comes out from the United States, and it came out in 2021. It's Scott number 5614, and it says, "More than meets the eye," with an exclamation point at the end. Can you read that in this stamp? I like the way the text goes. I like the fact that it's creative. When you're doing stamp collecting, you're trying to be a little creative in what you do. So I like the creative text that the United States used for this particular stamp.
Next is the letter V, and for V, I'm challenging you with the word vexillology. Can you find a stamp that describes and shows vexillology? I bet you can.
Now we come to the harder part of the alphabet. Now, you didn't have to go as hard with the words. V could be used in lots of different ones, like venom or vase. There are lots of easier words than vexillology. It's one that I had to look up. So it comes from Latin, vexilla, which means little sails, and ology is the study of, that most of us know. So the study of little sails. But a vexillum was a particular type of flag used by Roman legions. So vexillology also means the study of flags. Before I show you the actual stamp that I did pick for that, did you know there are kind of 5 principles to creating a flag that most countries should go with? First, you got to keep it simple. The flag should be so simple that a child can draw it. A child can draw this one here, the maple leaf. Should also have meaningful symbolism, images or colors or patterns that relate to what the flag represents. Should use 2 or 3 basic colors. Shouldn't have any lettering or seals on it. Now, some flags do that, and they're considered bad flags if they do. But be distinctive and relatable. So those are kind of the 5 principles of creating a flag. Now, so what did I pick? I picked this stamp here. It comes out from the United Nations, from the Vienna, Austria side of the United Nations. It came out in 2007. It's Scott number 397, and it shows flags hanging from the rotunda. So that's my vexillology stamp for you.
For X, Rob, I'm giving you the word Zeist.
All right, cyst, as in XYST, not cyst as in the medical condition. Another word I did have to look up. It means a long portico, especially used in the ancient Greek times for athletes. It's a covered garden walk or a walk lined with trees. All right, not an easy stamp to find, but I did find one. Not a covered walk that had athletes going between it, but a walk lined with trees. This Soviet Union stamp came out in 1948. It's Scott number 1313, and it's a tree-lined walk. So I hope it fits the bill. I think it does. You're making it difficult, but here we go. We're getting near the end.
So, Rob, you get the last letter of the alphabet, the letter Z. And so for Z, I'm giving you zip code. That's right. For the letter Z, your challenge is to find a stamp that has to do with zip codes.
Well, lucky for me, I get the final letter of the alphabet, and Smokey has chosen this particular word to represent, depending where you're from, a Z or Z. He chose a zip code, which is very appropriate for him being the United States, and zip codes are primarily only used in the United States. The rest of the world uses postal codes. Well, a zip code, and the word zip means Zone Improvement Plan, came out in 1963, and I chose this stamp, which came out in 1974, Scott number 1511. And did you know the zip codes, the numbers, how they work? The first number represents the zone within the United States that it will be going to. The next 2 digits narrow it down even further, maybe to the major city. And then the last 2 digits represent the post office that it will be sorted out of. So that's how the zip code works. And this particular stamp from 1974 shows you if you use it. Maybe it'll be going by train or by plane or by truck, or yeah, that's how the zip code works. And that's the stamp I chose to finish it off. Thank you, first of all, to Smokey for continuing to do these videos with me and to help us do some sort of an education on world stamp collecting and the variety of stamps that are out there that you can find on a number of different topics. Pretty much any topic you want to find, there's a stamp out there for it, which is really cool. Now, for you guys, like I mentioned at the start, if you've got a comment for us about a future tasks that we potentially can do, leave it in the comments. We'd be happy to look at them, and make sure after you're done watching this video that you go over to Snail Mail with Smokey and watch his videos as well. That's it for this month, you guys. Have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?